Hello, Man with 1,000 X back, and this time I'd like to introduce you to the Dark Scorpion. Alright, Dark Scorpions has a pretty small family, with Don Salug in the lead, Yellow Chick, Cliff the Trap Remover, Melina Thorns, Gord the Strong, and of course all of them assembled together as the Dark Scorpion Burglars. This has always been a bit of a joke of an archetype because they never really see much support, but I have found them quite enjoyable myself. Each of the Black Scorpions have two effects. Mine is Burglars, but each of them, they have the common effect of whenever they deal damage to the opponent, I get to send X number of cards off the top of their deck, depending on which one I'm attacking with. Now, individual effects, Don Salug can destroy a card from their hand, or I can see the top card of my opponent's deck and choose to either put it on top or bottom. This one I can destroy a spell or trap. This one allows me to search from the deck or from the graveyard. And of course, this one here, I can return one monster card from my opponent's side of the field to the top of the owner's deck. Burglars here, even though they do not have the ability the others have, I can, whenever he inflicts battle damage to my opponent sends one spell card from their deck to the graveyard. So depending on what you're facing, it might be the very thing you need. Now, with this deck here, I have went through a very simple strategy with them on just either increasing their attack or decreasing the opponent, or just simply clearing their field so you can get in there with a nice hit. The goal of it is to mainly try to deck your opponent out by constantly using all the effects of sending cards from top of their deck to the graveyard. Now, for the support. The only monster I have joining him is Command Knight, because while he's on the field, all warriors gain 400 extra attack points, and that's the common type that all of the Dark Scorpions have. Also, my opponent cannot select Command Knight as an attack target, so it's quite literally relying on the Black Scorpion to protect it. Now, for straight just attacking, Mix's Plasma Zone, they're all dark. Solidarity, Magnum Shield, Ego Boost, Rush Recklessness. Each of these spell cards here will end up increasing your Dark Scorpion's attack, where 500, 800, gain attack equal to their defense, 1,000, an extra 700. You can quite easily swing with a large club in this. These two become very useful being quick play spells. You can activate it during your opponent's turn, which makes it less likely for your opponent to be able to respond instead. Magnum Shield here is a good way to just... These three gives pretty much a basic attack game for them. That way it makes them pretty strong, so you don't have to worry about getting wiped out during your opponent's turn. Now, for decreasing your opponent's attack, going with classic Burden of the Mighty and Shrink. Burden of the Mighty will end up decreasing your opponent's attack equal to their level, and Shrink will end up cutting their attack in half. Burden of the Mighty will not have any effect against seals, but Shrink will. Thus, when you start doing the math there, your Dark Scorpions can quite easily break 4,000 attack, and your opponent is going to be lucky to have anything above 19. Now, Dark Scorpions also have the spell card, Mustering of the Dark Scorpions, which you can only activate this when you have Don Salug out. When you activate this, you get to special summon one of each of the Dark Scorpions you have in your hand, as long as they have different names. Makes mustering to the field so much easier. Also, for further searching, Warrior Returning Alive and Reinforcement of the Army. Highly recommend running more than just one. For space issue and time I built this deck, I only had access to 1 reinforcements. But 3 would be ideal, especially if you want to pull off that mustering of the Dark Scorpion. Warrior Returning Alive is an easy way to cycle your warriors back to your hand, because more than likely, unless you got a lot of the attack bonuses, they're not going to be able to stay on field very long. Also, to help out, Kaiser Coliseum. Dark Scorpions, besides that one spell card, they don't swarm very fast. Kaiser Coliseum will keep your opponent under control until you're able to get your army together. Raigeki. Wipe their field so you're got clear direct attack, triggering off all your effects to mill your opponent's deck. And finally, Compulse and Threatening Roar. Threatening Roar, further protection of your guys. Compulse, get that one creature out of the way so you can get a clear strike. And that, my friends, is Dark Scorpions.